How's that? It is September 30th, 2022, and it's about a little after 7 o'clock in the evening Eastern Standard Time. I wanted to talk about my art collection and let's see. Yeah, this is that's a smoke alarm up there. But this is a print of an FW-190 taxiing through the woods, going out to an open field to take off to go intercept some B-17s. They had to do a lot of that when we bombed their factories out and their repairs and maintenance shops out. That they moved into the woods to hide from our fighters, our fighter bombers. But it's got the signature of two aces, two German aces on there, and I just love the FW-190. I love this, the lines and the look of this airplane. It's just, you know, it just seems to happen sometimes that you know, what do you want to say, the discipline of airplane design and power and all those things, retractable gear that is not a tricycle, or they're wide. The gears, the main gears that the airplane lands on is spread out. Whereas on an ME-109 and on a Spitfire, they like come together underneath the fuselage of the airplane and then just kind of like tilt out from. It's not as good of a balance. Let's put it that way. The F-190 had these, you can see this, the landing struts are spread out. And it's a great print. Trudgian, I think, is the artist. And it's limited edition, signed by the artist and two German aces. Pretty cool. It's Timberwolf is the name of the print. Okay, moving on. We have either a freedom fighter or a hunter, I'm not sure which, but I consider the ability to draw and paint the human face. Some artists work a lifetime trying to perfect it, and they don't get it. This artist, look at this guy's face, man. Actually, everything. Look at this shirt. You know, the folds in the shirt with the shading and the shadows there, and then here in his face, you'll see he's wearing a hat with a feather in it, and there's a shadow being cast over the top of his eyes by the hat, and then underneath it gets brighter. In a photograph, that's really easy to do. In a painting, there's nothing simple or easy about that. And the closer you look at this guy's face, all the crevices and the age of the skin looks so natural. The beard looks completely natural and beautiful. The neck, the folds in the shirt. I mean, that's all tons of detail there. Look at the on his jacket, the folds on the jacket, his hands. The human components of this painting are perfect. It's amazing. To me, it's amazing. The detail in his face is just amazing, and the lighting is perfect. I mean, that's a lot of times an artist will be able to make a good drawing, but then getting the colors and the lighting right, you know, those are all different disciplines that you have and skills that need to be refined. Like the color of his undershirt, also on his shirt, like the shading of the light and the shadows, like on his shirt there. Let's see if I can get. You see the white shirt and the shadow that's right around the neckline. Those are little things that when you put them all together, that an artist does with exquisite skill, which is what's going on here. Just make it look like a masterpiece. I consider this painting a masterpiece. I like the hammers. It's an antique shotgun, because any current shotguns don't have these like hammers with the knobs coming up on them. So and the bluing on the shotgun, man, it's good. The combination of the blue, the red, and the green. There's yellow, red, and blue in there. Yellow, red, green, and blue in there. It's just, I just think it's an amazing masterpiece. I'm really glad I own that. Black Sheep Squadron by John Shaw. I talked about this in a previous video, but John Shaw is great at doing people again, but he's also good at context and setting. This is in the South Pacific, Southeastern Pacific, in the Philippine area where the Black Sheep Squadron is located. And I also, Boeington passed away, so he couldn't sign the print itself, but I did get his signature down here, if you want to see it, and I mounted that with the picture. So I have Greg Boeington's signature, Pappy Boeington, whatever you want to call him. I don't know why you call him Pappy. Is he a father figure or something? I don't know. And then here are the, here's the Black Sheep Squadron after, let me see if I can get this, I'm sorry. After a mission, they're hanging out in front of their F4F Corsair. Is it F4F? No, it's F4U Corsair. It's a Corsair. And they're all hanging out, let's see. Yeah. They're all hanging out. And the faces, you can see Boeington in the middle, the faces are exactly right. The faces are done, John Shaw does the faces so well, and he's incredible. God, I almost knocked over a lint. Just perfect rendition of the Corsair. Man, look at those huge props. The way the gull wings, push that prop up to give it enough clearance and stuff. Enough clearance. So that's a beauty. And then my father's wings are also mounted in this print. And there's my father, the World War II ace that flew a P-40s over Northern Africa and had 8 kills there, 8 victories. Only got credit for 6. But just listening to him talk and everything else, I know he got 8. But so those are my father's wings, Boeington signature, and then 2 or 3 more aces. The whole Black Sheep Squadron is, their signatures are on here. And in that squadron, there's at least 2 aces, I know that. My favorite view of the Eiffel Tower. I was in Paris in 2015, but I didn't see the Eiffel Tower, but that's 1925, that's exquisite. Let's see, this is mid-20th century French artist Henri Contention in the Savoy. Hamilton Aguiar in the forest. Here is famous 4 Minutes by R.G. Smith. He's probably the aviation artist I hold in highest esteem, although John Shaw, I think his stuff is exquisite too. But this is the moment that Rich Best got the Akagi on a whim, actually. Everybody else went at another ship, one of the Fogs of War stories, and there are only 3 or 4 airplanes that went after the Akagi because it was being overlooked. But Richard Best saw what was going on. If you see the movie, they try to talk about what he did there, but it's hard to describe. He had to splinter off from his squadron because in the heat of battle, man, your emotions can take over, and they're supposed to, divvy up or separate, and then, each one's supposed to go out after a different ship. But instead, they all went down on the one ship. There was like 30 or 40 airplanes that went down on one ship, and Richard Best had to peel off from that group because he saw that this guy was getting away, and he took, I think, two airmen with him, yeah. And he got a direct hit on the Akagi and the flight deck, and this shows like all 3 airplanes after they dropped their bombs and the effect on the Akagi. They sank it. It was useless after being hit like that. This is the Hornet's Nest, again, another painting by John Shaw with Jimmy Doolittle and Admiral Mitcher on the deck of the Hornet on their way to launching on April 18th at Tokyo, 18th, 1942. And again, human figures. Okay, a lot of artists shy away from doing the human form because it's the most difficult. And there's I think I counted close to 20 people in this painting. And then the controversy about the different colors on the cowlings, indicating which group they're with. He represents that here too. Some wildcats circling above, guarding the aircraft carrier. And here is Jimmy Doolittle's signature, and that's verified on this envelope here. So, and then 6 members of the raid, sign the print too. And all this stuff has authentication, certificates of authentication. So, I've really, I go for like the most iconic things in my art collection over here. Here's Secretariat at the 73 Belmont. The home stretch, how far ahead he is, everybody, I love that. And this is an Austrian artist that I really like, but never was able to buy any more of his stuff. I bought one other painting, but it's not as good as this one. It's a spring scene. And this was circa 70 something, the countryside in Austria. The detail is amazing, and it's only 8 by 10, so this guy had a really fine touch and an eye for detail. That's the best of my collection. I didn't talk too much about these, landscapes here. The top one is by a Brazilian artist, Hamilton Aguiar, and the bottom one, and he's still alive, Henri Contention. The guy that did the one on the bottom is French. This was painted, we believe, right around 1950, between 45 and 1950. And it's the Savoy. And he just has a feel. I mean, if you look at his other work online, man, you can tell he's got a feel for the environment. He's really good, really good. So that's basically it as far as, and I have more. I have other stuff, but not mounted. And where I live in a small apartment, so, Anyway, that's my collection. I hope you got a kick out of it. Have a good one.